Hey folks, Wally DM here, and today we're going to take a look at a puzzle that was submitted to the puzzle room by one of our valued members of our Discord community. Now this puzzle reminds me of another one that we did a few years ago on my channel called The Door to Nowhere. The concepts are a little bit similar, but the puzzle we're going to look at today is a little bit more of an English-based word puzzle. Now the original intent for today's encounter was to replace location E4, which is the sarcophagus and crystal pillars that is found in the Elven tomb section of the Icewind Dale adventure. But of course you can take this puzzle and you can put it to wherever it would fit into your game. So be sure to get your pen and paper handy to be able to write down the clues as we take a look at this one, the sarcophagus and the crystal pillars. So in this puzzle, our adventuring party has traveled to an elven tomb or cemetery, and they come upon a scene that has a granite sarcophagus surrounded by 5 crystal pillars. Now this sarcophagus is extremely heavy, it is made of granite, and there is no spell or amount of force that can be used to open it. Perhaps we could say that this was sealed by a high-level elven wizard. Nonetheless, when the characters take a look at the sarcophagus, they're going to be able to tell that it is unable to be opened and it's extremely heavy. They're also going to find a script at the base that reads as follows. When each of 5 bowls hold a whispered clue, gain the sentinel's guidance, ancient and true. Now if our characters were to take a look at the crystals, they can tell that they do have the capability of being lit with light if something were to be placed inside the bowl. And along the outside of each of these bowls on top of the pillars are 3 words, and we'll go through them one by one. Starting with our yellow pillar, the words book, shake, and stand. Our green pillar, land, wind, and work. Our blue pillar is back, color, and log. Our purple pillar is head, key, and birth, and the red pillar is arm, camp, and fly. Now I have given each of the pillars a color. When you run this puzzle, you don't need to do that. They can all look identical or be the same color. That's fine and up to you. I'm only using colors to better demonstrate how this puzzle is supposed to work. And one more thing that I would add to this puzzle is any character that takes a look at these pillars and the sarcophagus could determine on a DC 12 Intelligence Arcana check that if they were to be able to put something into each of these bowls, that the crystal pillar would light up, and if each of the crystal pillars are lit, then the sarcophagus would open. With everything that's been presented, do you know how to solve the puzzle? I'll give you a second if you'd like to figure it out. Did you get it? Great. Let's go over the answer. So let's go over the puzzle solution, and then I want to give a few extra ideas to be able to entice the players into opening their sarcophagus, because as it stands, do we even really want to mess with this sarcophagus and whatever may lurk inside? So going back to our crystal pillars with the bowl on top of it, let's take a look at them one by one. We'll start with the green one. The green pillar has the words land, wind, and work. And if we were to add a word to each of those, we could create an additional word. So with this, we're going to add the word wood. So we have woodland, woodwind, and woodwork. So with the connecting word being the word wood, one of our characters would need to take something wooden or perhaps a twig or a branch and put it into the top of the bowl. When they do this, the pillar is going to activate. Taking a look next at our blue pillar, we have the words back, color, and log. And if we were to add the word water to that, we would have backwater, water color, and water log. So if our characters were to pour some water into the bowl of this pillar, it is going to activate and it is going to glow. For our purple pillar, we have the words head, key, and birth, and that connecting word is going to be stone. So we have headstone, keystone, and birthstone. When one of the characters takes a rock or a stone and puts it into this pillar, it activates and glows. For the next one, we have the words arm, camp, and fly. If we were to use the word fire, we would have firearm, campfire, and firefly. So if one of the characters were to create or cast a fire spell into this pillar, it would activate and glow. And our final pillar has the words book, shake, and stand. And if we were to add the word hand to that, we would have handbook, handshake, and handstand. So if a character were to come over here and either put their own hand or a severed hand into this one, this pillar is going to activate, and when all 5 are glowing or active, then the top of the sarcophagus is going to shift, and emerging from the sarcophagus is going to be a mummy. Now what happens when this mummy emerges is totally up to you. In Icewind Dale Dale. This mummy's name is Sonar. It's a moon elf mummy, and it's actually going to join the party. It's chaotic good, it's acclimated to cold weather, and it's just excited that it's been liberated. It'll stay with the party until it reaches 0 hit points. At that point, it just turns to dust. But as the game master, you can have other uses for this. Maybe the mummy has a key around its neck, and the characters need to get this key, and the only way to get it is to go into combat and defeat the mummy. Or rather than a mummy, perhaps the sarcophagus holds some hidden treasure that the characters are after. Be sure to let me know how you would use this puzzle in the comments section below. Now, one of the other things that we need to consider is the characters might not even want to open the sarcophagus. Maybe they're afraid of what's inside. If that's the case, then perhaps the mummy can hear them outside, bangs on the top of the sarcophagus, and offers to help them. Maybe the mummy has a key or some type of information that would aid them in their quest. But regardless, at first, if the characters aren't interested in opening the sarcophagus by doing the puzzle, then we can add these type of elements to entice them. The other thing that we might want to consider is the hand element for the yellow pillar. Now in Icewind Dale, one of the components to be able to open this is an actual severed hand thrown into a brazier. So what I would probably recommend, and it also serves as a clue, is to have a few crawling claws that emerge when the characters arrive. If these crawling claws come out and attack, it makes a nice easy combat encounter, and when they get to this yellow pillar, they've already got a couple of hands laying around that they could throw into the bowl. So that's all I have for you today. What did you think of the puzzle? Is this something that you could use in your game? And if so, what would you do differently? In particular, why are the characters opening this sarcophagus? Are they there to free this mummy that's going to join their party as a fellow member? Or is there some type of treasure they're there to obtain? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching, and on to the next.